There is so much incredible food in DC, it can be overwhelming, especially with new spots popping up on what seems like a daily basis. Sometimes I find myself eating at the same places over and over just because I can't decide what new place to try. But this March, there's no better reason to get out there and check some places off the list. It's District Bridges' Tour del Taco. From March 1st to 31st, try as many of DC's best tacos and pupusas as you can to be crowned DC's taconnoisseur. With each taco, you'll earn points to climb the Tour del Taco leaderboard for a chance to win prizes, gift cards, and experiences. You can even give back to the community with the Have a Taco, Give a Taco fundraiser and help cover the cost of a hot meal to a neighbor in need. Visit districtbridges.org/Tour del Taco DC to see the taco map, track your progress, and vote for your favorite taco in the city.
Today on CityCast DC, I've spent most of my life being told that when it's time for me to start a family, I'll probably want to leave city life in DC behind. Now, I want to have a kid, but I have no intention of leaving DC. So how can new parents make the most of life in the district? Courtney Whittington, founder of the group DC Area Moms, shares her tips for new parents in DC. Today's Tuesday, February 25th. I'm Bridget Todd, and here's what DC is talking about. So Courtney, you've been a mom for 13 years, and I'm not a parent, but I want to be a parent someday. Something that people tell me is that when you start a family, you'll want to move out of DC, you'll want to leave the district. But one of the reasons I'm excited to pursue parenthood in DC is because I want to be around community. I want to be around people. So my first question is, how do you build out your mom village in DC?
First of all, I think the biggest overarching thing with anything in life is you want to be the type of person that you would want to be friends with. So you, just like before you have kids, you're active in the community. You maybe go to a bar or a running club or a volleyball club or church or whatever it is. And you build your community that way. You volunteer, do things like that. And you want to replicate that in parenthood too. So I always like to, look around and think, okay, how can I build the community around me and stuff like that? And you just want to be active. You go to events, you drop off cookies or a meal to a friend that just had a baby. And honestly, when you are a new mom, you're completely overwhelmed and you need to make sure you're caring for yourself. But then also in those little moments, when you come up for breath, look around and say, oh, we can have our babies outside and go for a walk. Or we can, if you see a mom at a park, go to a local playground as often as you can just to see who is around you and say, hey, can I get your number? I see our babies are the same age. Or, my baby loves to hang out with a toddler, whatever it is. And just try to focus on, even people in your building or, little things like that. And think about the type of friend you want to be and try to be that.
So it sounds like it kind of comes down to intentionality,
Yes.
Even though it's so easy to get wrapped up in the day-to-day, just getting food on the table and getting through each day, not forgetting that you want to actually plant some seeds that hopefully will grow into that village that I bet parents really appreciate.
Yeah. And honestly, all of us on a daily basis are showing our kids how to act in the world. And for us to be able to go out of our comfort zone to say, hey, I want to be a friend right now, or hey, that mom just had a baby or is, struggling with this or whatever. Let's go drop her a little gift basket off. Or you know what? I'm at Whole Foods. Let me just get some flowers real quick and drop it off. Little things like that add up to a big impact in someone's life.
Do you have any ideas for that first offer of hanging out with a mom friend? Maybe you're feeling nervous. What's an ideal mom friend hang?
That is a really great question. I think it really depends on the age of your child. But if your child's like a toddler or something, just text that mom and say, hey, I'm going to Guy Mason Park today. Do you want to meet up there? And bring some snacks and bring enough snacks to share, because those play dates are for the kids, but they're also for the parents because the parents are at home doing all the very important work, but also very taxing work of caring for children 24/7. And if you have a baby, we actually have a guide on our website of the best mom support groups. And there's a lot of mom groups around here that have classes for new moms, or you can go to a Mommy and Me yoga or something like that. And building those friendships that way is really amazing too. And just taking walks. If you have a new baby and a mom a street over in the same building as you has a baby that's, close in age, just say, hey, I'm taking a quick walk around the block and just see if she can come. And honestly, if you text and they say no, text again. And then if they still say no, text again, because it takes a long time for people to get together, and you have to be gracious with that person because all of us are so busy, and, having a new baby is a lot of work.
So earlier you were talking about going to like toddler or family friendly spots. What are some of the places in DC that you have found are great for toddlers, great for family?
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to look at you crazy if your kid is like running around because it's more for families. What are some spots like that you found?
Yeah. So I think really for babies, when you first have your baby, if you're breastfeeding, you choose to do that. The breastfeeding center has a lot of really fun, accessible classes that you can sign up for. I remember I took like a baby massage class, and then, me and several moms created a yoga class at one of our homes. So we found a yoga instructor, and she came inside our homes, and we signed up for, I think it was like 6 Saturdays. So again, that's creating the community that you want to be a part of. But honestly, when you have a baby, I would strap your baby to you and go walk around, go to a museum that you haven't been to in a while or something like that. And ask a friend to tag along with you that may be on maternity leave, or a new stay-at-home mom or something like that. I love the building museum for a big open space, especially if it's cold outside, for babies to crawl around on. And there's a water feature there, which is really fun. Also for babies, honestly, for any age, I love the National Children's Museum. It's really big. It has a lot of activities for little kids. They have a little baby area that has padding. There's a new place that just opened up called the Tot Space, which is in Rockville, Maryland. It's, a drop-in daycare, also just a place for parents to kind of have a little respite, just to get something done off their to-do list. I love the Martin Luther King Library in downtown DC, right next to the National Portrait Gallery. They have a massive indoor slide, but they also have a really fun little kids area that kids can like play like in their pretend kitchen and stuff. And honestly, we have so many playgrounds in our area. We have a whole guide to the best playgrounds. We also have a guide on our website, dcmoms.com, of the best indoor play places and, stuff like that.
So I love the idea of strapping a baby to you and going to a museum. What makes a good museum for babies? Like, what should you be looking for?
Yeah, I mean, for a baby, honestly, anything they can look at. And if they can have tummy time there, bring a little mat and let them just lay around on preferably a carpeted area. But honestly, this is more for the moms to kind of have a little respite and sanity of like, oh, I can walk around here. I love the Renwick Gallery, to be able to lay down on the big carpeted area upstairs and just look up at the designs on the ceiling. Like I said, I love the National Building Museum. All the Smithsonians are free. You walk in and enjoy it, and they're all like metro accessible and stuff like that. Of course, there's lots of nature places to explore too. There's a really fun park that I love. It's called Watkins Wizard of Oz Park, and they have a nature center, putt carousel, mini train, and it's just a huge green area just to go outside and play. But I honestly, wherever you go with your baby, if you choose to go out and do something like that, always make sure that you're gentle on yourself and gentle with your baby, because something could go wrong. I remember, I was going out to go do something, and then my child had a huge blowout, and then we had to go buy an outfit and, all these things. So stuff is going to happen. And when those things happen, you just have to kind of laugh with it and say, you know what, this is a memory, and we just made a memory.
I actually think that it's kind of awesome to have that mindset of like, yeah, even if it's stressful, if your baby has a blowout or something embarrassing happens, it'll be a good memory and an embarrassing, funny story you can tell them years later.
That is absolutely true. I have more memories than that. I remember going to like a resale shop. There's a lot of like kids and babies like resale shops around here, or big consignment places. And I was meeting my friend there, and on the way back, my child had a blowout, and then they had another blowout, and I literally didn't have any clothes left. I didn't have a diaper left. And I was like, I had to laugh. I was like, this is hilarious, but it just happens. And like, and also you learn to grow. You're like, you know what, let me pack more diapers and more, outfits for next time we go on adventures. So, but I love doing adventures with our kids. And I also love going to libraries and checking out tons of books and having like, that quiet time, but also a free time that they can just like roam and be free in all of our amazing libraries.
CityCast is made possible by the Peabody Institute of the Johns Hopkins University, celebrating 1 year of performances at the Johns Hopkins University Bloomberg Center, located at 555 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. This spring, immerse yourself in the vibrant offerings at DC's newest venue for music and dance, featuring a full season of free performances. Experience a dynamic range of events, including orchestral, jazz, and chamber music, all presented by esteemed Peabody faculty, students, alumni, and special guests. Highlights of the season include the Super Collider Symposium from March 13th to March 15th, a symposium on algorithmic composition tools bringing together more than 50 leading researchers for presentations of art and science-based creative work, and Load Bang on April 30th, a New York City-based new music chamber ensemble performing works by Peabody composition faculty, including Guggenheim Fellows and Pulitzer Prize finalists. While all events are free, tickets are required for entry. Explore the full performance schedule, find out more details, and reserve your tickets at washingtondc.jhu.edu.
Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why MyLowe's Rewards is free to join. As a member, you earn points towards MyLowe's money on eligible purchases, get exclusive free gifts, and earn free shipping at Silver Key status, all on top of weekly member-only deals. Don't wait. Join MyLowe's Rewards for free today and start saving more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Okay, so you've taken your kid to the library, they've had a blowout, it's been a day. Let's say mama needs a break, mama needs a drink. What are some bars and restaurants in DC that are family friendly to check out?
Yeah. So we have 4 kids and we honestly don't go out to eat as often as we used to, but we have loved our experiences with babies at Founding Farmers and also at Matchbox. They bring out dough for little kids, like little toddlers to play with. So they have a little activity. But honestly, this also goes to your mindset. There's tons of awesome bars and restaurants that are very family friendly. And in fact, we actually have an entire guide on our website of where kids eat free, which is a big deal. If you have kids, like, a kid eating free at a restaurant is just fun. And it also represents that restaurant is very family friendly.
Any notable spots where kids eat free in DC?
Well, there is Surfside in DC. There's Brooklyn Pint. In Maryland, there is the Daily Dish Periodic Table Restaurant and Bar. In Virginia, there's Inca Social, Monk's Barbecue. And then for locations throughout the DMV, there is places like Fogo de Chao, IHOP, IKEA. I love going to IKEA, especially if you do want to have a play date with a mom out there. That's really fun. Moe's has really great deals for kids where kids eat free. So those are a few of the wonderful places that I would recommend. But on that note, I think even your local bar or restaurant can be family friendly depending on where you live. It's what you put into it. So if you go in there with the mindset of oh, they don't want me here, you're probably not going to have the best time. But if you go into a restaurant or bar and you're like, okay, we're going to have fun. My kid's going to have fun. And, parents, I am one of them. It's so important for us to represent each other well. So if your kid makes a big mess under the table with throwing eggs down or, green beans or whatever, always try to pick up after your kids. So then they, families don't get a bad rap. So I just want to mention that. And I also, any family restaurants that you go to, you can also bring miniature, have a little baggie and bring miniature books with you, maybe 2 or 3, and then miniature crayons, a little sheet of paper, a favorite toy, little things that would keep your child active while you're trying to have a little moment of adult time. And then if you have a baby, wear them because they just love to be held. So,
and it's adorable.
Yes.
So DC is not the cheapest city. What if you want to get a good deal on hand-me-downs or freebie toys? Any ideas?
Okay, that is such a great question and so important. People, I feel, here are very generous with hand-me-downs and with, sharing with people around you. So I would recommend, of course, if you have family around here, say, hey, do you have any hand-me-downs from so-and-so cousin or something like that? But also look to your local friends, in your neighborhood or your building. If they have a child that's a little older than yours, say oh, if you have any hand-me-downs, please, can I borrow them and I can give them back to you if you have another child, and really keep track of those because you want to be a good steward with whatever that you have. But I love local listservs for freebies or little hand-me-downs, or even, little kids tables. I remember we have a kids table that's like a Pottery Barn kids table that I got for free off of a listserv, and our kids are still using it all these years later. And also, if you don't have a very underground WhatsApp group that moms are a part of, you can always create one, because on those WhatsApp groups, that's where like the real sincere friendships come from. And you can just text and say, hey, my daughter's starting ballet tomorrow and she's age 3, but I forgot to buy her a ballet outfit, or her shoes don't fit her right now, or something like that. And moms will literally step up and say, oh, I have one in this back closet, because, and that they'll, let you borrow it or give it to you or whatever like that. So again, that kind of goes back to creating your village. You want to make sure that you have a village that you can kind of draw on, but also neighborhood Facebook groups, buy nothing groups. And then I mentioned earlier, we have an awesome guide to thrift stores and consignment shops on our website too.
So what made you want to raise kids in DC? Like, I'm sure you've had people tell you, move to the burbs, live someplace a little easier. Why DC?
We do live in DC proper. And one of the big benefits that I really like is I love that they have free pre-K 3 and pre-K 4, which childcare is very expensive. And that, adds to the equation of, the cost benefit of living in the city. I do love that our kids can easily hop on the metro, or I can quickly take a drive downtown or something like that to go to Smithsonian. It is a choice and it's not perfect. There's definitely some things in DC that I dislike, but right now we're choosing the district, and all 4 of our kids are in school here, and we're grateful for that. And they have a lot of great language immersion schools. So looking even long term at what we're wanting, it kind of works out for us right now. So, and we lived here, moved away, and moved back like 8 years ago. So
where can folks listening find more access to parenting tips in DC?
Well, we started dcmoms.com, or DC area moms. And we have tons of resources on our website for, moms and parents and family caregiver, everyone around here. It's really meant to give people resources to not feel alone, because parenthood can feel very isolating and lonely, but it doesn't have to be. I remember when we had our 3rd baby, that baby had a tongue tie, and I was trying to breastfeed, and my neighbor literally right next door, she ended up coming over at like 9 p.m. at night, and I cried to her, and she was there for me, and she was like, I'm so sorry, because I was, struggling with breastfeeding and stuff. And she was like, I'm so sorry. Well, I have backup breast milk if you wanted, and, stuff like that. And I can't tell you how cared for I felt by texting her that late at night, and her just walking over at 9 p.m. and being like, hey, I'm here for you. So like with any community, you give and you take and stuff like that. And it's wonderful.
People want to be there for you.
Yes.
And so you have to learn to let them.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So let's say you're listening and you're like, I want to connect IRL, make some mom friends. How can folks keep up with events for parents that might be coming up in the city?
That is a really great question. So each month we have our monthly events guide, and you can check that out. And we also have a free community events calendar, so businesses can put events on our website as well. And I would honestly recommend checking out all of our mom groups. And also we have several Facebook groups that are based in neighborhoods. And then we have our big DC area moms and families Facebook group. And it's a great place to ask questions or anything like that. The community is out there. There are friends out there. There is so much potential for friendship and community. All of us have the capacity to create the environment, the community, the world that we want our kids to grow up in. And all it takes is getting out there. And we have tons of resources on our website, dcmoms.com, to help give you that virtual hug and that virtual encouragement to get out there and, love where you live and enjoy being a mom in the area.
That's so beautiful, Courtney. Thanks so much for being here.
I'm so glad. Thank you for talking with me.
That's all for today here on CityCast DC. If you enjoyed the show, text it to that friend who is excited to be a new parent. We'll be back tomorrow morning with even more news from around the city. Talk to you then.